Hi FItMamas, I am here with one of the co-founders of Bellies Inc., Kim Vopney. Hi Kim.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem. Today we're going to be talking about your ab tank and wrap system, and I want to hear all about it. So can you tell us a little bit about that system?
Yes, absolutely. So we created the Ab Tank Complete system, which we have here, because we were trying to give women more access to information before they've given birth and before they have the dreaded mummy tummy. So the products and services that are available right now focus really on restoring and rebuilding, which is absolutely a piece of the puzzle. But we believe and we find that you need to be preparing for your recovery while you're still pregnant. So if you can harness the core activation and all the muscles that you do to restore while you're still pregnant, you build your core for birth, you perform better in your birth, and you're going to recover more quickly. So we've put that together into a system that helps you prevent, it helps you recover, and it helps you restore. So what we've done, and this is not a real belly, so I have had 2 children, but they're now, 11 and 8, so it's been a while. However, I do remember after I gave birth the first time, you're left with a belly. It doesn't just magically flatten out again, but it was this mushy, empty space, and I didn't quite know where to put myself or how to hold myself, and all I wanted to do was hang on and hug my belly. So we remember that really vividly, and we put that as part of our system, because just like you have the traditional cultures where they do the belly wrapping and the abdominal binding, what have you, we're trying to bring that back and that whole philosophy into the Western culture here as well. So what we've done is we've put together a system which has preventive exercise. So you have it in an exercise guidebook, you also have it online in video format as well. And that is done daily. It's a series of 8 really focused core exercises that works on your pelvic floor, it works on your alignment, it works on your breath, all the things you need to be more comfortable in your pregnancy. You can also use them in your birth, but also it's the same exercise you're going to use to recover form and function postpartum.
Great.
So you don't need to be learning a whole new
So
system.
when should someone buy this system?
We designed it for pregnant women to buy. So while the product that I'm going to show you is actually meant for the first 8 weeks postpartum, you want to start the exercises right away. So we typically would recommend people buy it in their 3rd pregnancy, in their 3rd trimester of their pregnancy, so that they can start the exercises and have everything they need once they've given birth.
Great.
So that's your exercise guidebook. And then the ab tank and wrap, what we've done is we've given you 2 ab tanks. So it's a light compression. It's not Spanx, it's not meant to sausage you in, it's not meant to be overly tight. It's just meant to give you kind of a nice, as I was talking about, that gentle hug that you want for your abdomen. So it fits underneath the bust, as you can see on our packaging there. So you can wear whatever breastfeeding lingerie you need, and it keeps everything nice and free, so you are free to breastfeed.
Great.
And we made it extra long because you do still have some extra girth here in your belly, and you don't want to have something riding up, so we've made it extra long. It's really, really nice and comfortable, super breathable, super silky smooth, so it allows you to layer things and your clothes aren't going to stick to it. We've given you a nude one, and we've also given you a black one, and we've given you the little laundry bag to wash it in, so you can toss it in with your wash. And the other piece is the ab wrap.
Awesome.
So we have a base layer. Most abdominal binders or splints that you will see for postpartum recommend that you wear it over top of a form-fitting tank. So we thought, why don't we give you that form-fitting tank with something that has an element of function to it. So we do have that little bit of light compression in there as well, so you're getting an added layer, an added bonus. So the ab wrap, you put it on so that the lumbar piece is basically in your low back. If you need more support over your pelvis, you simply wear that a little bit lower.
Okay.
You cross the arms over in front.
All right, so Kim is going to put on the wrap here as she goes.
So I've got it placed with the lumbar pad right in my low back. I can put it a little bit lower up on my pelvis if I need a bit more support there. I cross the arms over in front, and the biggest piece of information we can give to people when they're putting this on is to secure the bottom arm first, and you secure it with an upward lift. So this is similar to what a postpartum belly will look like. You still will have some belly there, So you cross your arms over. We have people do what we call a core breath, so they're going to activate their pelvic floor. Because they've done it in their pregnancy, they already know how to do it. So you inhale and expand, you exhale and engage, and you lift your pelvic floor. And now you take your bottom arm underneath the belly and you lift up, and then you secure it at the back.
Nice.
You can do another core breath, or if you can, maintain your pelvic floor contraction, and then you put the top arm on. And the top arm should be placed on slightly looser than the bottom. So what we're trying to do is avoid creating downward pressure on the pelvic floor, and instead we're lifting everything up away from the pelvic floor. So that really helps you heal a lot better. So that's essentially what it looks like. There is typically a little lip at the front, and to get rid of that, you just simply slide your fingers in and under, slide it around to the back, and you have a nice smooth panel on the front. And you can wear whatever you want on top without anybody knowing. So once you have your ab tank and wrap on, one other piece of information that we want to share with how ours is different from others is we have a lot of adjustability here. So on each strap we have 2 arms or 2 pieces of elastic that you can play around with. So that gives you actually 4 layers that you can move around depending on if you're taller, so you have more real estate to cover, so to speak, and if you're shorter, if you have a shorter torso, you might want to have them overlapped a bit more. And I can bring them down right over top of my pelvis. I can bring this one up, so I have a little bit more support underneath my rib cage as well. So you can play around with where you need the most support, which is really, really key. But again, always focusing on the bottom arm first and really lifting up.
Great, thank you. So Kim, maybe you can tell us a little bit about why this wrap and tank system is different from other ones on the market.
Sure. One of the bigger pieces is the preventive aspect. So there's really not a lot of other ones that really focus on the prevention and starting to prepare women before they have the problem. Usually the other ones are focused on fixing a problem that you already have. But the critical piece here is binding or belly wrapping is really most critical, and the most optimal time to do it is the first 8 weeks postpartum. So the other ones, typically women are buying them at 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, 5 years postpartum. And while they can add an element of support, you've got to be careful with potentially creating weakness because you start wearing this and not actually rebuilding the system on your own with exercise. So the most critical healing time for diastasis, which is the abdominal muscle separation, is the first 8 weeks postpartum, and that's when you're wearing the ab tank and wrap. The other ones, again, they focus more on once you've had the problem for potentially months or years, and it's a little bit harder to make a change or to really heal it optimally. And we want to avoid the long-term effects of becoming dependent on something like this. So it's a temporary fix while those overstretched tissues are really healing. So we want to try to reapproximate them, give them some support, but they're also doing the exercise, which is missing from a lot of other products out there, so that they can rebuild their own support system from the inside out.
Great. So Kim, tell me a little bit about the exercise guidebook that comes with this wrap system.
Sure. So we've put together our core confidence exercise program in a series of 8 specific exercises that you do gradually in your pregnancy, and you also then do the exact same exercises gradually for your restorative, for your recovery, so that you can rebuild your own core function, not always depending on having something to provide that external support. So it's meant to be preventive. You do the exercises while you're still pregnant, and then once you've had your babe, you put on your ab tank and wrap, and you start 1 week at a time going through the same exercises. So you don't need to learn a whole new 30-minute exercise. You don't have to put a DVD in. It's exactly what you have already done. Your body knows. So we harness that principle of muscle memory in fitness, where your body's like, yeah, I remember what I was doing. So even if you've lost a little bit of proprioception or sensation in your body after giving birth, which is quite common, your body will naturally start to do these again without any problem because you've been doing them through your pregnancy as well.